Alrighty, dudes. I think I actually managed to remember to do everything this time. Got all the stream stuff set up. Should have all the audio stuff working correctly. And if I'm not, well, blow my brains out. Yeah, look at this bug. I've seen that happen with a few other of the borderless arts or whatever. Anyway, like I mentioned in the going live announcement, playing the Sultai brew here. And this was something that I cooked up last night. I always seem to kind of do that, like right the night before or whatever, come up with something that sounds fun to play. And this was inspired, I guess I should start from the beginning real quick. Don't want to take forever on this, but this was the Sam Black list that I was referencing, taking inspiration from. Basically, he's playing a Doom Foretold deck that also incorporates Vraska as one of the main components. And he's got your kind of typical mid-range fare in here. Some removal spells, some card drawing, a few big payoff cards here. But it has a few other just little, custom choices here. Arboreal Grazer to get turn 2 Treacherous Blessings, Llanowar Visionaries, Oaths of Kaya, or like a 2-drop plus tap land or something. And also get into faster Doom Foretolds and Vraskas. But to be honest, when I was playing this deck, I didn't really understand why we were playing white, over blue. I get it, yeah, this card is really awesome, and obviously I've played a crap load of this card. But, Doom Foretold is not always great, depending on the matchup. It can be really slow. Elspeth is, kinda hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, but if she just bites Elspeth Conquers Death or something like that, then she's 4 mana 2/1/1s. Not great. If you get her rolling, though, she does play really well with Vraska. Of course, Vraska being able to eat Treacherous Blessing is also really good. Arboreal Grazer just being fed right into the Vraska later on is fine. And all of this kind of fueling. He only had one Joel Rail main, did not have a second one on the board. As you can see, I've placed another one there. But it's just basically, without going too much more into this, is basically just a mid-range deck that happens to incorporate a little bit of ramp and Doom Foretold. So I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. Didn't feel super powerful, but did definitely have draws that just absolutely dumpsters aggressive decks. But I figured, instead of playing all those kind of medium white cards, why don't we play blue? Because that opens up Growth Spiral, pretty much like the pillar of this format. If you're not playing a Growth Spiral deck, you have to have a damn good reason, and I didn't feel that deck had a damn good reason. So we get to play Growth Spiral, Uro, and Hydroid Krasis, kind of just that package right there is really nice. And then we can kind of season to taste from there. So I'm playing Shark Typhoon, because this card is just always awesome. Except against beatdown decks, but we have plans for that. And this Tamiyo, up until even just a couple hours ago, hey Kenzie, what's up? Up until a couple of hours ago, I did have this as a Mythos of Brokos. I thought I might try that out, but upon reflection, I felt like Tamiyo accomplished much of the same that Mythos does, and it also leaves a card in play to continue doing things with. So I just figured that's probably a better call. I think Mythos is okay. It's not great. But we've got a lot of the same elements here. Vraska plus Treacherous Blessing plus removal and the Cheville Joel Rail package plus Llanowar Visionary. I actually think this card might be insane, especially given the prevalence of mono green at the moment, because they don't have a lot of ways to deal with it. If it gets into combat with basically anything in their deck, it kills it with the Death Touch. And getting the bounty triggers especially in post-board games where we side in like Grasp, Heartless Act, Eliminate, just a bucket load of more removal plus an additional Cheville. I think that can just get out of control pretty quick in those matchups. So I do want to try that out. Still keeping the couple of Casualties of Wars, one Ugin. I think this is just a good stopgap card to have. Just fixes a lot of your problems, and can sometimes single-handedly just win you a game. And we don't have additional copies, just the one, because we don't want them clogging our hand or anything like that. We're already going to be a little clogged between all these 4-drops and all this stuff. We're not playing any Arboreal Grazers, so we're really just hoping to like spike a growth spiral like every game if possible. But we have a lot of backups here. We're playing 3 Joel Rails rather than just the one from the other deck. I think this card is pretty freaking good too. And a lot easier to trigger in the Sand Blacklist. The Sand Blacklist really only had Vraska, Treacherous Blessing, and like cycling Triomes, which I mean we have that as well. In addition to all of that stuff, we have cycling Shark Typhoon, we have Uro, Growth Spiral, Hydroid Crisis. I guess he had Visionary too, but well, maybe not your IRL problems, but but anyway, so yeah, I basically just shifted this into a Sultai list over Abzan. I think the payoffs are much better. We also get slightly better interaction. Not that we're playing a lot of blue interaction to begin with, as you can see, but Disdainful Stroke's a good catch-all out of the sideboard for crap like opposing Ugins or expansion explosions or just, you know, any of that big shit that might give us trouble. I think we're going to be slightly soft to like medium-sized creatures like 4 and 5 drops. Because most of our stuff like Eliminate and Vraska is all geared at killing smaller things. Like Casualties doesn't care, just kills whatever. But that's kind of why I decided to lean on a couple pairs of Noxious Grasp and Heartless Act in the sideboard, just to give us an opportunity to be able to kill some of that bigger stuff. Especially like at a mono green, like getting to sideboard 5 of those plus a Cheville is just, it seems nuts to me, so that seems good. Against control decks, we can side out some of this kind of low impact shit, bring in some hand disruption in Agonizing Remorse and a Thought Distortion. If we need to, we can go to like Wilt if we're playing against Reclamation or something, or if they're like a Bant control list that's like ramping into Ugins and Elspeth Conquers Deaths and shit like that, we might want to bring in Stroke or something. But anyway, I think there's a lot of good stuff going on here, and I don't want to, again, talk forever. I've already been doing it for almost 9 minutes, so let's get into the games and just see how this does. Mana is pretty simple. We're playing 4 Fabled Passage because we have Uro in the deck. Because the Abzan list did not have Uro, he was not playing any Fabled Passage, but we need those to basically juice this guy up as quick as we can. So to that effect, I'm actually playing only 3 temples, and I'm cutting a Watery Grave in order to give us access to a few more basics. Altogether, we're playing 28 lands, so I think our curve's actually relatively low for a deck of this style, so that should be okay. We just want to make sure we're always, or almost always, able to hit a land on Growth Spiral and or Uro to really maximize their impact. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's have some fun here. See how this does. This is completely untested, so if the wheels fall off, then you could just blame me. How are you holding up, Kenzie? Have you gotten your results back yet? Fuck no. When did you say you went in? Like last Saturday? Fair enough. Monday, okay. It seems okay as long as we're not playing against like mono red or something. This could be Reclamation. Either way, we're just going to lead on Temple. And I think I'm actually going to shove that. We've got basically next turn and the turn after to draw land naturally like that. And the redraw is on Visionary as well, so I don't really want to be drawing a whole shitload of lands if we can keep away from it. I don't really think he has too much he can punish us here with. That's what it was, okay. You feeling any better at all, or is it pretty much just the same? I was in a main deck Ether Gust, huh? I think I'm actually okay putting that on top. Just because it does cantrip, so I mean, yeah, we're not going to get to draw a card this turn, but if he, like, taps out for something, we might be able to, yeah, Wilderness Reclamation is going to be the one pain in the ass, but we can do Visionary. If he gusts it this turn, then we're just pushing it, but he does not. So that's fine. My plan here is going to be next turn to Casualties of War, if we can. Wow, this guy's got main deck Night Pack Ambusher, huh? Yeah, I feel you, man. That can't be fun. Blast Zone. Spiral, okay. Well, you gotta keep doing what you've been doing, I suppose. You don't want to exacerbate the situation, of course. Alright, so I think the likelihood of Mystical Dispute is probably pretty high here, but I think if we don't try to contain this right now, then we're going to be in pretty bad shape. So I think I just have to try and go for this Casualties of War. Land, enchantment, creature. Creature, enchantment, land. Let's cross our fingers that this resolves. Mystical Dispute, called it. And I think I'm actually just gonna... I'm ready to pack it in here because we don't have a good answer to that Night Pack Ambusher. So, against that deck, don't want Cheval. Now, it's almost like I've played this game before. I don't think I want Ugin. And I think I want to cut down on some of this nonsense. We're going to bring in the Agonizing Remorse as the Thought Distortion. And I guess we can get rid of Eliminate. That doesn't do anything here either. He's probably got like Storm's Wrath and or Flame Sweep, so Joel Rail might not be quite as good, so we'll cut one, bring in the Strokes and a Wilt. I think that'll be okay. I do like having Casualties of War, because in addition to Wilt, it'll probably help it. That'll give us enough like cross coverage on Reclamation, because we don't really have a lot of enchantment destruction outside of Wilt. Like this works, but it's not very good enchantment destruction. I should probably take that into account because we're playing ranked in Platinum, and Temur Reclamation is like one of the best decks in the format, so that could be an oversight on my part. Maybe address that after this game. But this will give us a way to like pick out the counter magic in his hand or whatever, or if we can just spike this and just completely, you know, brick his hand of anything that's super impactful. I kind of want some of these, because that stupid wolf might just eat us alive if we don't have it. So maybe we have to do... We might need this, because if he has shark tokens... Yeah, let's do this. Submit that. So we brought in a couple Heartless Axe because it'll kill Nightpack Ambusher, and it'll also kill Shark Typhoon tokens if he has those. This hand is going to need a little bit of help. I don't like having this in the opener, but we do have Growth Spiral. If we can like Growth Spiral into a turn 3 Tameo, we might be able to get something rolling here. And I think I'm going to do this now, just because, again, I don't want to get mystically disputed. He's going to do the same, which makes a lot of sense. Plays an island here. Okay, Fable Passage is fine. Let's say if he plays island here and has Mystical Dispute up, I'm going to be a sad boy. I'm not going to crack mine, just to give us the slightest chance. Well, now we get absolutely punished. Oh god, that's annoying. Holy shit, that's annoying. Alright, well, we're just going to have to cycle this Shark Typhoon for 0 on his turn. Not used to having Treacherous Blessing in non-Orzhov decks, so just like kind of messed me up. That's alright, we can always get that back, so it's not the end of the world. Here we can, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to crack this Fable Passage because we're going to play Temple, hold priority, crack Fable Passage for Swamp, so it'll come into play untapped. And then play Treacherous Blessing. We could also play Zagoth Triome, that might also just be better. What is he going to have here? He might have Nightpack Ambusher. Let's just do this. Crack this for black. Play Blessing. Now if he wants to counter this, he can't play the Wolf. And he very well might not even care, to be honest. Mystical Dispute, okay. At least there's no Wolf, I'm okay with that. But he bricked on land, that's not irrelevant. Do we play Jolrael naked here, and then... I think we do, and then just like next turn try to get Hydroid Krasis for like 2 or 3 down. Let's see what Temple has to say. We have a land on top, so next turn we can Krasis for X equals 4, draw 2 cards, get a 2/2. And I think that's okay. If he like wants to spend all his time like trying to interact with our board and not develop his own, I think that's alright. If he counters this, it's whatever. We have a removal spell if he plays Nightpack Ambusher here. Which he does not. Nice. What is this going to be, like Nissa? Nothing, eh? Or is he going to explode here? Yeah, he's going to explode. Or he's just like pump faking. I could see that. He can explode for 6. Okay, he's leaving a couple up. Probably Ether Gust would be my guess. Or did he just like misclick? Oh, he's got a discard. Okay. Oh, he had a negate. I think I'm going to lead with Krasis here and not Casualties of War. If he's discarding a negate, it kind of makes me feel like he has another one. Or a Gust or something like that. And I would rather have Krasis gusted to the top than my Casualties of War, because this will dig us deeper into the library. And we get to draw 2 cards regardless of what he does. Unless he's playing like Tail's End, then whatever. Yeah, that's alright. We can always grow that back with Tamiyo later. I kind of want to make him commit something else to the table before I pull the trigger on Casualties of War, too. Or if I could draw Agonizing Remorse or Thought Distortion would be absolutely brutal here. Probably gonna have to wait until that Uro gets into play. Kind of seems like he might just have a bunch of air, but who knows. So we can do our own Uro here. We can like Uro, if it gets gusted or something, we just put it on top and play Tamiyo? Get back Krasis or something? Let's just see what he does here. Is he going to Scorching Dragonfire? Yep. I might want to do this, to be honest. Yeah, but that's not doing anything else, so... Yes, I do want to kill my own Uro. I don't want to get exiled if I can help it. And this will force him to have to use another one if he's got it, or a counterspell. There we go, that's fine. He gets our Uro, but we've got other Uros to draw. It's not like the end of the world. Unfortunately, we can't play anything else. Just tapped. Let's play that. Pass turn. Alright, so we've got 2 negates out of his hand. We've got a Mystical Dispute ×2. Reasonable chance we might be able to get this Casualties of War to resolve. He knows we have it, because we tried to cast it last game. What you got, buddy? Nothing, huh? 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess we can shock this and play around Mystical Dispute. Probably doesn't matter, I guess, but we might as well just tag a Triome. Oh my fucking god. Alright. Well, he only gets a Stone Rain us. And it still destroys Wilderness Reclamation, Uro. Because he can't change the modes that I selected when he copied it. Okay. and he just wasted an Ether Gust too. Because Narset's Reversal puts the original copy back into our hand, and he Ether Gusted a copy, which is not a card, and cannot go on top of his library. Oh, god damn, that's good. Okay. He basically just gave us 2 cards for nothing. That's gonna be a highlight. Alright, that's about half an hour in. I'll have to remember that. If he has an explosion now, then, you know, whatever. I don't even care. That was just hilarious. That's the funniest shit I've seen on Arena in a while. Even funnier than last week when our opponent in the like mirror just scooped for no real reason, and that's how we got into platinum this time. Alright, so his explosion for 12. He's gonna leave 4 up. So if we can get this Casualties of War off, and like maybe play a Vraska to like bait out another counterspell, and then the following turn we can Tamiyo Casualties of War again, then we did not draw an untapped land though, so unfortunately that is not going to happen. But I think we're just going to cycle. No, I think we're probably going to have to play this Triumph because we're going to need 10 mana next turn. Let's see if he wants to make the same play again. I don't think he realized that Narset's Reversal does not quite work the way that he wants it to. Alright, that's just death. That's fine. Oh, man. That's good shit. Okay, so let's rein this in a little bit here. I think I do want an extra copy of Wilt. I think maybe these strokes might be a little ambitious. Like, I think my plan against Ugin just has to be to either race those decks or, like, Shark Typhoon / Casualties of War it. Or, like, sandbag a Joel Rail, wait for him to, like, minus to kill all my shit, and then Joel Rail make an army, try to kill him. So I think maybe Stroke is not exactly what I'm looking to do. So we'll add 1 more Wilt, and I think I'm going to go up to this is target opponent. Narset's Reversal, copy it, and return it to their hand. So getting Thought Distortion Narset's Reversal would be pretty fucking brutal, because not only does this go back to the hand, it then gets caught by the opposing one. And we've already got a lot of expensive stuff. I think I might just want the 4th Agonizing Remorse. And in that particular matchup, again, I think we basically sideboard mostly the same, except I think we have to take out the other 2 Llanowar Visionaries. So our sideboard plan would be minus Ugin, minus a Vraska, minus 3 Llanowar Visionary, minus 1 Jor-El, minus 2 Eliminate. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I think that sounds okay. That leaves us with Shark Typhoon, Uro, and Hydroid Krasis are like the main ways to win at that point. Then we could go wide with Joel Rail if we need to. And I think Shark Typhoon might be good enough to fight Ugin on most fronts. So like having no Disdainful Stroke I don't think is that much of a deal breaker. We might be able to just, you know, tag it with Agonizing Remorse or Thought Distortion anyway. So I think that's slightly better This card can always be cycled if we don't need it. So if we like tag a Reclamation and they don't play one for 5 turns and we're just sitting on another Wilt, we could just cycle it or something. Plus this is fine against Elspeth Conquers Death or other such nonsense. Embercleave against Mono Red also kills Anax out of that deck. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking to myself now. Let's give it another shot here. Plus, I like having cheap stuff, you know, Agonizing Remorse over 6-drop Thought Distortion. And not that, like, Narset's Reversal is a thing I'm super scared about out of a lot of decks, but having been caught off guard with it there, we got a little lucky that it didn't work as well as it could have. That's good tech against Thought Distortion, though. He was probably anticipating that. Or maybe he wasn't, I'm just giving him too much credit. Who knows? Yeah, this seems alright. It's kind of like everything we want to be doing. If this were a Joel Rail, this would be like a badass hand. Alright, there we go. Probably another mirror match of sorts. Everybody's on Growth Spiral, so that wouldn't surprise me. Lead on Tomb in case we draw our own Growth Spiral. Scavenging Ooze already, huh? Well, let's see what old Chevrolegs has to say. I assume he probably does not have a lot of good ways to kill that. You now have a bounty counter, sir. What is he going to play on 5 mana? I'm kind of concerned about not being able to cash in on this bounty counter. And we have Casualties of War and Tamiyo. We can always buy back shit, so yeah, let's just get the Scavenging Ooze out of here. He might be causing problems to begin with anyway, so whatever. I like it. This guy cannot be killed by Elspeth Conquers Death. Wow, he's gonna shatter the sky on that, huh? Okay. Alright, so what does he do here? He probably... If we play Elspeth, he's probably going to ECD. Which is fine. I think what I want to do is... This turn I'm going to play Tamiyo, get back Cheville. Next turn we will Treacherous Blessing and Cheville, or like Cheville Llanowar Visionary or something like that. I want to resolve this since he doesn't have Mystical Dispute up. And you seem to value this card quite a bit, so it's probably good to have access to it. And it's the only one in our deck, so... at the moment. Does he have, like, Dream Trawler? Oh no, he's just going full Uro mode. I feel like he's probably flooded. He's gonna play Uro here? Oh no, he can't. He doesn't have enough. One shy. Alright, so... trying to think what we should do for Tamiyo plus here. We have to plus, but I don't know exactly what we want to draw. We know he has Shatter the Sky, so I don't necessarily want to overcommit into that by playing like Llanowar Visionary and Cheville. So let's play... let's do this. Let's correct this for a green source. Yeah, play this for a green source. Get Cheville down. Then we'll play Treacherous Blessing. And all this stuff just resolves, huh? So let's name... I think I just want to name, like... Ugin? Because we only have the one. I don't mind filling our bin with a bunch of stuff. And if he like goes for all this Uro play, then Ugin can really keep that under control. Okay. That has a bounty counter on it. I'm not opposed to throwing away this Tamio for Vraska to kill that, draw card, get a 2/2 off a Joel Rail. That actually seems fucking awesome. So let's do that. Let's return Vraska. We will play Joel Rail. Take a point. Vraska, take a point. We will kill Hydroid Krasis. Game 3, draw a card. Get a 2/2. Get in for 1 damage. The beatdowns. Check. And now he's going to play Uro. And we are going to Casualties of War him. Sir. Sweet dude. So, first of all, let's get this Treacherous Blessing out of here. Value. We got all these Crads in our hand. Let's see. If I Growth Spiral, play double Fabled Passage. I think I can do Growth Spiral and get Casualties of War. I'm going to do this first, just in case. Let's grab that. Black, black, green, green. Alright, yeah, this will work. This, like, maximizes us in terms of, let's see. Black, black. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. In terms of being able to get like as many lands into play as we can, which I feel is pretty important when you're playing against a bunch of fucking Uros. You kind of want to match them on land drops as much as you can. Okay, he's got air. He needs 2 more pieces of air before he can play Uro. Fairy's not bad. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, so we could Visionary and then Shark Typhoon token. We could also just play a Shark Typhoon, but we don't have a lot of non-creature stuff going on right now. Let's play a Temple first. That is another Shark Typhoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he has Mystical Dispute, he has Mystical Dispute. I can't really... Well, fuck. The problem is... if he has Elspeth Conquers Death, I don't want that happening, but he might just spend it on our Vraska. Whatever. We have a Shark Typhoon to spare if he does have Mystical Dispute. Which he does not. Very nice. I think I am going to bin a land here. And I think I want to bin this. Alright. We got enough land. We have 3 more lands in hand. I'm not worried about that. Wow, he binned his own Shark Typhoon. He probably has another one. Yep. I figured as much. Oh, now he's just gonna bounce Shark Typhoon. Oh, he's gonna bounce that. Okay. Well, now we pretty much have to get this Shark Typhoon down this turn to make sure that we can get our value off of the one in play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got enough to Shark Typhoon plus Growth Spiral. That'll give us a couple things. Let's just make sure we do this first before anything stupid happens. This will give us 10 power in play. I'll put Temple. Do not need a land. And I'm going to do not play the Triome because I think we're probably cycling it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will give us 10 for a clean 8/8 Crassus next turn. He's already spent 2 Shatter the Skies. I don't think he's got the full set in his list, most likely. Alright, so he's going to ECD something here, probably. Probably another Shark Typhoon. Well, that's the only option. Nissa, okay. Okay. He does not have Shatter the Sky mana up yet, which is good. I don't think that works the way you think it works, buddy. Okay. He's got 1 card in hand. So now our Shark token comes back, so we can send everything at, let's see, we can split it between token that goes like 6/6 to Nissa and both other tokens to the Teferis, and then he either loses both of his Teferis or the Nissa. I like that. That actually seems like pretty fucking like absurd to me. Okay. So now he loses both of his Teferis. And we play an absolutely enormous Hydroid Crisis. 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite that big. Draw a million goddamn lands, but that's okay. Perfect, don't even have to discard anything. Oh god. Well, if he wants to get this Shark Typhoon, he has to get everything off the table. He's just gonna get all the creatures. Except for my 6/6, because it's phased out value. Alright, so we are going to take a pounding here. That is a problem. Okay, so the question is now... if we don't kill Nissa, he gets... No, he can't ultimate. Never mind, it's on 8. So we can kill his Ugin now, but he can just get it back next turn. That kind of sucks. But still, that prevents him from like being able to get a Teferi or something. Like if that's what he wants to do. So let's just do that. And if I Joel Rail plus... It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3... Then I'll have enough to make a 2/2 on his turn as well. With the 2 triomes. And I don't really want to... Let's see. If I play Visionary... If I go Joel Rail, Visionary... That puts enough power into play to like kind of force him to have to do something. Like he's just gonna get Ugin back, but maybe he eats like an Uro. So yeah, let's see what he does with this. I think we're probably losing this game because this card is absurd. He doesn't even need to get the Llanowar Visionary, to be honest. He could just -2 and like clean up everything. Yeah, which is what he's gonna do. Out of here anyway. That doesn't help. Alright. Llanowar Visionary, you are fodder. I don't think we have any outs, honestly. He's just like got way too much going on. Maybe we should have some Teferis. I didn't even think about that, honestly. Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't even think there's anything to draw, but we'll find out. Alright. I'm not going to show him another card. I probably shouldn't even have shown him that we had that, but whatever. Okay, so what do we not want? We don't want Eliminate. We do not want Cheville. We do not want Llanowar Visionary. Do want all these. I want this. I think we can cut down. I think on the play we want Joel Rail, because we want to have like the best shot of putting a reasonable clock on him. Maybe we cut 1 Vraska. Vraska did not appear to have too many targets against him. We've got Remorse and Vraska and Casualties of War to take care of Uro. But if it's in play, we only have Vraska, Casualties, and Ugin. Might be able to outsize it with Shark Typhoon sometimes. I think this might be good enough. Just because Elspeth, I could talk. Elspeth, Conqueror's Death is such a beating. Maybe Grasp is better? Kills like... Well, no, it doesn't kill Teferi, it doesn't kill Ugin. Only kills baby Teferi, so yeah, maybe Wilt is just better. I don't think we need to care about the creatures, because all he showed us was Krasis and Uro. Both of those bite it pretty hard to discard, or Agonizing Remorse in general, and Vraska. Maybe taking Tamio out is the better play instead of Vraska, but I'm not convinced of that. We'll just try this. That seems alright. Quickly thinking that Visionary might need to go. That might need to switch into Teferi, just to have like a card that's better on its own. This hand is not great. This doesn't have any discard, does not have a Joel Rail, doesn't have card advantage outside of stuff that costs 1 billion mana. Like if he plays a turn 4 Teferi, we're going to be hurting pretty bad. I think I have to mulligan this. Maybe if I had 2 temples and I could try and smooth out our chance at like a turn 3 something. But I don't know, this just seems too dicey to me. Shark Typhoon doesn't put enough of a clock on unless it's like a 3-3 at least. Krasis is just too much mana for an opening hand. Yeah, just mulligan. Alright, this is like way better. Holy shit. Let's get this out of here. We'll draw that at some point. And I think we must... But we don't actually have to. We can... I think I'm just going to do that. We'll grab a forest, play Watery Grave, Joel Rail. And the turn after we can either Growth Spiral or Treacherous Blessing, whatever the case might be. Triome, okay. Means we're probably going to play Growth Spiral next turn. Playing smart, playing around Mystical Dispute. Yeah, I just want to, again, match pace with him in terms of getting lands into play, and I don't think we're cycling this Triome. We're going to have a lot of card draw. Oh, and then we didn't play land. Fuck. Got like way ahead of myself. Does he have Shatter the Sky here? Nope. Alright, that's fine. Ugin. See ya. Yeah, see, we got fucked by not playing that, land last turn. We could have Agonizing Remorse him this turn. Oh well. Gotta shake it off, nothing we can do about it. I was gonna say, he at least can't Elspeth Conquers Death us. That's not nothing. And do I want to do it now? He's got, what, 4 cards in the bin? He could conceivably get Uro into play next turn. He can't... I guess he could, like, veto or negate or something, but he can't Mystical Dispute this, so... Let's get in there first, see what happens. He has no land, huh? I think I might just want to take Shatter the Sky here. Let's see, if I take Shatter the Sky, he cannot play Uro next turn unless he draws a land, and then he can, like, cycle Shark Typhoon for 0, play Uro. But we basically have Uro locked up for now, so let's just take this. Need to try and keep our beatdowns on, I think. Man, I wish I had a growth spiral there. Okay, that's a win for us. He's just cycling that to try and hit a land. Or a shatter, I guess that works too. Alright, so this, I really don't want to spend this right now. But getting to stone rain him while he's like bricked seems really good. Might just be better to get a Crassus down. And then if he like taps low for Uro, we can dunk on him. Let's just do that. It's fine. Land is very good. Nice, he bricked again. I could play another Hydroid Krasis. It might be right instead to play Blessing. Let's see, he has what? One Shatter of the Sky plus one in the bin. He can't have that many more, and he can't Ugin us next turn. Devout Decree doesn't do anything about it. I think I want to actually make it 5-5, because he could, like, theoretically play his own Crassus next turn, and I want to be able to attack through it. Hey, Nick, what's going on, man? Day's been pretty good. Just do this. Plus, he's tapped out. He can't, like, Ether Gust us or Mystical Dispute us or anything. How have you been? Okay, that's good for us. Okay, he finally found a land, but because of this plains, he can't cast the Uro from his bin. Alright, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he cannot play Ugin next turn. So I think what we're going to do is play our Ugin this turn while the getting's good. Dome him for 3, and then next turn we have him dead if he taps out for Ugin. Okay, cool. He just bricked on land too much there. That wasn't really anything that we did. I do like that artwork, though. That's a pretty cool one. Nice alternate art. Let's see. So maybe we want, like, 1 Noxious Grasp. Or something like that over a Wilt. You're good, dude. That's good. Good end to the week, then. Because it kind of feels like he might be trying to... Maybe it was just that game, but I got the impression he was trying to, like, turbo Uro. And, again, he had 3 copies in his hand and no lands, so maybe that was, like, his only play. I wish I had, like, an Assassin's Trophy or something. Something that would be able to kill a 4-mana Teferi or something like that. That's good, man. I just don't have a way to deal with that card. I don't have a way to deal with a Resolve Ugin, which Assassin's Trophy would be good for. He's really only got Uro. I still think I probably just want Wilt. Uro, I think for the most part, we can keep under control. Maybe I want one. This kills like Baby Teferi and Uro, and if he has like Droll Rails of his own or something, which we haven't seen yet, but who knows. And he didn't draw ECD at all that game. Not that it would have been good anyway, but so maybe that's even a reason to not worry about it as much. We had like all the 2-drop shit that he couldn't do anything about. We'll see. Oh, this guy's in like low diamond, and he got paired up with us. What the hell is going on with that? That's weird. Okay. Either that means he sucks or we're awesome. Yeah, a drop off the top is not what the doctor ordered. Ooh. He does not have Growth Spiral on turn 2, huh? Both. There's not like a big incentive for me to Growth Spiral now. I don't want to give him like the opportunity to use the mana if he has Mystical Dispute. And I'd much rather him not be able to counter my Growth Spiral if he wants to tap out like that, I suppose. I could like play this and get him. And did. Does he not have white mana? Okay, he does. Alright, so now we spike this, draw some cards. This is better to hit a land drop than playing Uro. Discard. I think we will discard... probably Uro, because we are going to get that guy back at some point. Yes. Little Teferi, okay. Okay. You do not get a card out of that. So here I'm going to... If he has a counterspell, he has a counterspell. I'm going to play Vraska to try and kill this Teferi. I think. Like, we're going to go Vraska. Next turn we can go Vraska again if we don't draw a land, or we can Casualties of War. Like, we're going to get this Teferi one way or the other. Assume he's either got Growth Spiral or nothing, apparently. So get Teferi out of here. Get that into play. He's just probably gonna like Elspeth Conquers Death, I guess, but whatever. Or does he have Devout Decree? That could be it. Just Sharkles. He Sharkles a Shark Typhoon. Cycles a Shark Typhoon. Brew is fine. And here we are going to get max value again. As long as he doesn't Devout Decree this in response, which if he does, whatever. If not, cool, he does not. So let's get this out of here now. And I'm going to Island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Growth Spiral. Try to resolve this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could he could play his own Ugin next turn, which would be pretty bad for us, but oh well. Well, not really. We'll just Casualties of War it if he does that. Yeah, it's like a fire dog. There's and he has like a fox, like a fire fox. A fire fox. This is gonna be awesome because we're just gonna eat that with Vraska. And well, actually we could... I think I'm just going to eat it with Vraska, play my own Krasis, and then if he has Ugin, we can Casualties of War. Or do we just play Shark Typhoon here? If we play Shark Typhoon here, and he has an Ugin and he wants to get rid of it, then he has to -5, which will put it into range of our own Ugin. He could also have Elspeth Conquers Death, which then we still want to Casualties of War. Huh. Either way, we're eating this Krasis with Vraska. Let's just start there. If this Shark Typhoon lives, it's going to be, like, absurdly good for us. So we're gonna see if we can make that reality happen. We've got enough stopgaps, I think, that, like, whatever his big play here is actually not that big of a deal. Like, if he plays Uro here... Okay, well, Teferi's kind of the worst case scenario, but whatever. He's gonna play Uro this turn. Okay. What do I want to do? I think I'm gonna play Vraska and my own Uro. Is that what I want to do? I'm kind of worried about Dovin's veto. That's my main concern right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could play a land and Casualties of War around... Well, he can't even Mystical Dispute it, so that's not a concern. Question is, do I want to make 8 mana worth of plays this turn, or 6? Because we don't get to do any better than 8 mana. We get 8 mana plus Zagoth Triome. I guess doing the Vraska Uro thing sets us up better if he has like a follow-up. I think we're just going to do this because he can't replay Uro right now. And if he wants to play his own Ugin next turn, then he has to like minus for... Like, taps down, minuses for a fairly relevant amount, and blah, 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 blah. So, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You still have 3 mana up, but it's probably okay. Yeah, I will take that. Sweet. I will take a Vraska back that eats your Teferi. What? Okay. So, this turn we're going to Shark Typhoon plus Vraska. That was a pretty odd play from our opponent. He may have misclicked. That's totally something I've done before. Would not blame him at all for making that mistake. On the castle, that is. Shatter, okay. He's having to shatter Shark Typhoon tokens. That's, like, insane for us. That's also insane. What do we have? We have 32 cards in deck. I guess I could just bin... Let's see, we have 2 more basics in the deck. We have 2 more basics in the deck. So let's play Fabled. Crack for a Forest. We'll play Shark Typhoon, because we want this to resolve first above anything else. And this, like, plays around Mystical Dispute and all that shit, as I've talked about a billion times before. Joel Rail, and then we're gonna eat, probably this forest here. Cool. And we can also play Tameo. We can Tameo for Treacherous Blessing. Why not? Put 8 more power into play. We've almost got him dead on the following turn. The rarely seen Shark Typhoon as an enchantment play. That doesn't come up a lot. Usually that thing just gets cycled, but late game, goddamn, this thing can go out of control. I don't know if our opponent is like rage roping us now or what. Whatever. Nice. Okay, well, he did not draw any Elspeth Conquer's Death in either of those last 2 games. I wonder if he sided him out. Or just got, like, extremely unlucky. Nyx Bloom Ancient. Okay. Alright, so let's reevaluate real fast. So... I'm liking pretty much everything that's going on here, except this card. This card seems a little mopey, not gonna lie. We could go up to the full set of Uro. I don't hate that. So like cut 1 Llanowar Visionary up an Uro. And then I don't mind keeping 2, but there might be something better, honestly. I'm going to run to the restroom real fast. While I'm doing that, I'm going to think for just a minute about potential replacements for Visionary, because this card is like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's like, eh. The rate's not great. The body's not great. Like, ramping from 3 to 5 is not super important for our deck. So, I don't know. This is slightly awkward. Maybe there's a better call. But yeah, let me run to the restroom real fast, give it a quick think, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. And I just remembered that we had been talking about getting some Teferis in here. So I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. The double blue is a little brutal, but we've got, I think I counted last night, we had 19 blue sources. So 4, 8, 10, 14, 17. Yeah, we've got 19 blue sources. And we don't always have to slam it on turn 4. But it does give us a good payoff for being able to grow Spiral or Uro with no additional land drop in the case of Uro, like just going from 3 to 4 or something like that. And it's a good Planeswalker to play when we don't have shit going on. Whereas Vraska and Tameo are a little hit or miss. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these guys. Whoops, I'm not going to go to that page. I'm going to add 2 of these. And I'm waffling between whether or not I want the 4th Uro or I always call it Abrupt Decay when I'm looking for this card. This is the card I was talking about in the match. It just destroys a permanent that they control. The drawback is real. Giving them a land is not free. But when we're in a situation like we were in that last game, or really any of the games outside of Game 2, I suppose, Games 1 and 3 in that match, just being able to Assassin's Trophy like an Ugin, or an Elspeth Conquers Death, or a Teferi, or something like that, when they already have 12 land in play or whatever, it's like, whatever, take another land, I don't care. This card sucks when you're having to spend it on like turns 2 through 4. That's when you really don't want this card. So I think I'm going to play one of those, but I think I want it in the board. I don't want it main. So to give us one more removal spell, since we don't have a ton of that in the main, I'm going to bring in this Heartless Act. And I'm okay doing this now, especially because we have Teferis. And let's get the right Teferis here. Because we can always, like, bin. Like, if these cards are dead, if we're playing against, like, a mirror match or something, we can always just bin them to Teferi. And I think I like not being super flooded on Uro. As it is. I mean, we've got a shitload of stuff to do with our mana. So it's not like we're looking for a mana sink or anything like that. So this seems fine to me. We'll put this in the board. Boom. So our board's got a lot of removal, which is kind of not exactly what I'm looking for. It's got 5 or 4 more removal spells plus a trophy. But this isn't like so much a removal spell for aggressive decks as it is just like a mid-range trump card, so I think that's okay. Alright, that's about the only change I was thinking of making, and I think our mana is good enough that I don't need to worry about having to specifically account for double blue on Teferi. Like I said, we don't always have to slam it turn 4, we can just play it anytime after turn 4, it's whatever. Alright, so slight tweaks, and now we'll move on. Play. This hand isn't awesome, but it does have a turn 3/4, and we have a couple temples. This is like kind of the hand we were talking about last round, where if we had a couple temples, maybe we can make something work, and we even have a 3-cost spell that we can play on curve. I think I'm going to lead with Fabled Passage, and we'll like Temple, Forest, Temple, or we'll figure something out. I don't think we're going to Temple before getting a black source into play. And I do want to get Fabled Passage out of the way before we start scrying, as I've talked about a million times before. was Triumph. Okay, this is probably Reclamation. Very likely. Okay, Temple. Need to stop drawing lands. Joel Rail's fine. We'll keep Joel Rail. It's something to do, at least. And I think I want to get Joel Rail down before we start popping off all this card draw. So let's do that. Do not want another land. Okay. This also gives us like a chance to drop Uro or Teferi or something and get that train rolling. Perfect. Treacherous Blessing. I think we're likely to draw lands off Treacherous Blessing plus Teferi, so we'll bin a land. And we'll bin one that we can't cycle. That way, in case we start drawing a lot of lands, we can cycle that. I might actually toss this Vraska to Teferi. Possibly, unless he, like, looks like he's going to be going into Uro at some point. Which, so far, he's not. He has, like, no shot of casting Uro anytime soon. Might as well. Tamio is okay here. We don't necessarily need Treacherous Blessing, so I'm going to bin it. See what he has to say about this. So here, I'm going to go in with just the cat token. I don't want to open up Joel Rail to getting killed by Shark Typhoon. Which I really feel, yep. So I really feel like he has a Shark Typhoon. And I'm just going to let him eat it. I don't care about that. Whereas if I had gone in with Joel Rail, I would have to spend Teferi doing that. So I'm going to shock here so that I can grow Spiral plus Teferi to make a 2/2 on his turn as well. Yeah, I don't care about that. He's going to have Explosion here, probably, so I should probably just do this now. I guess it doesn't matter, he could counter this if he wants to, if he has the mana for it. Or he can, like, expansion it and then play an Explosion on his... after this trigger resolves or something like that, I don't know, whatever. Not even sure what he's thinking about that much, honestly. If he taps out to explode here, like if he just goes like hog wild with it, then um, maybe we can sneak a Vraska down or something. Still gonna do this. No reason not to. I kind of feel like I just want to get rid of this trio. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see what he wants to do here. Get in there and see if we can. I actually want to leave a blue up. See if we can get this Vraska down. He might have Ether Gust. Yep. Damn, I wish we had played Temple first, but whatever. He's got a shitload of cards in hand still. Yeah, that's fine. We might be able to convert on it at some point. I don't want to have like answers to both of his creatures right now. Even though Explosion may not necessarily, or rather, might not necessarily be anything about Explosion at this point. Especially now that he has double rec. At least now we can Vraska and eliminate if we absolutely need to. We're going to take, what, 13 here on an Explosion. Actually, yeah, it's just lethal. If he doesn't think we have Mystical Dispute. He can put us to 1 and then it doesn't matter, it's lethal anyway. Because we can't cast anything. Is he going to castle here? I think he's probably... did he miss a Wilderness Reclamation trigger? I kind of feel like he did. Because he keeps, like, hovering over Wilderness Reclamation to read it and be like, hey, what the fuck? That's just that. We can't actually kill him because we can't interact with his board and we can't gain any life anyway, so. Alright, let's see. This has to go. I think we were citing out Ugin, Vraska, 1 Treacherous Blessing. We're bringing in all the discard, Thought Distortion. Chevel we don't need. We need Wilts. I guess we probably don't need any spot removal. Just need to rely on Vraska and like shit like that. What else? Do we want an Assassin's Trophy? I don't think so. But maybe. Is there anything else that we're not running now that we might want? Could cut a Jorrail for a trophy. He didn't show us any sweepers that game. Although I have to assume he's got something. But sweepers are so bad against like basically every other element of our deck. Like at least the sweepers he has access to. That I'm kind of okay with that. And on the play, I'm more inclined to have more Joel Rails than on the draw. Perhaps we drop it to Fairy because he's likely to have more mystical disputes. Or maybe this is good enough and we don't need the trophy. Got a couple answers here and here to Reclamation. We can also make him discard it. I think this is okay. We'll give it a shot. You can see I'm, like, if you've ever watched me before, you can tell I'm a very methodical sideboarder. I try and, like, think about all the stuff that's going on rather than just, like, blatantly saying, oh yeah, this card's gonna be good, you know, blah, 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 blah. Seems good. A spiral into... I don't think we want that right now. Spiral into either Teferi or Blessing. We have a Wilt to tag Reclamation. And a Teferi should be able to run away with this game, more or less. Especially if we draw a Joel Rail. If we snapped off a Joel Rail there, then I would think we couldn't lose. Or it'd be, like, very hard for us to lose this game. He decides he does not want to grow Spiral Ben if he had it. So if he wants to counter that, whatever. We've got a lot of card draw in our hands, so... He does have Spiral. He wanted to risk it to Mystical Dispute. Alright, well this is going to be somewhat unfortunate if he goes Reclamation right here. I guess one thing I didn't think about is he could have Night Pack Ambusher, which would be pretty unfortunate here. Let's see. I guess I probably just want to play Uro. See what he does. I could see this getting disputed or gusted. I'll put him on top because I do think we want access to that card. And we have a land to play this turn already. It's not the end of the world. So we can, if he goes for Reclamation on this turn, we can wilt it. Or he'll just have nothing. Make the same play. I don't really care. If he wants to spend all day, like, fighting over an Uro that's going to go to the bin anyway, then that's whatever to me. Breaking on land is not good, though. Shark Typhoon Cycle, okay. Nothing I can do about that. He's got 5 cards in hand. Crassus likely isn't going to stick. He shocked that turn. Or no, he played a forest that turn, I'm sorry. So, what do we do here? I think we just Crassus and, you know, whatever, cross our fingers. Oh, he's digging for it. We have Tamiyo, we can always buy that back, it's not the end of the world. Ooh. Thought Distortion. That's going to be good. Don't think we're going to need Growth Spiral. I can get out of here. I really hope he doesn't have Night Pack Ambusher. That's going to make this whole thing suck. But I think we have to just go for it this turn. If he has a whole bunch of shit in his hand, then this will clear the way. Like, next turn we can... what can we do? Do we have any way to answer this stupid thing? I guess we can Tameo back Krasis and play Jorale. So yeah, let's just blow him up. If he has another Shark Typhoon or a Night Pack Ambusher here or something, like, I think we're losing this game, but meh. Yeah. Wow, didn't even get the other cards out of his hand. That's brutal. So Jorale's off the table. That ain't doing shit. I think we're probably just dead unless we can get this Uro into play. And even then, we're still dead. Let's see, so... Unfortunately, we don't have a way to stop 2 flyers, so whatever. We just didn't draw, like, this effect. You know, we needed more of that. Less of our mid-range type shit. Oh well. It is what it is. That's somewhat the problem of having a lot of your removal tied up in, like, Vraska, is against decks that have, like, instant speed threats and counter magic and things of that nature that don't really care about that. It's way better to have, like, 2 mana shit in those situations. Oh yeah, we're going for Massacre Worm, that's right. So that's the balance, like, you can't have it all, right? We're trying to have it all, but that's not always how it works out. Wilt did absolutely nothing that game. I'm wondering if he cited out his reclamations, like, out of respect for casualties of war or something like that. Or potentially things of this nature. I wonder if we just want, like... Maybe we just want, like, hella hand disruption? I'm trying to think, because, like, the reason we put the additional copy of Wilt in the board to begin with is because we were a little concerned about Elspeth Conquers Death, but we do have draws that just absolutely don't care about that card. Between Krasis, Jorale, and just a bunch of card draw and hand disruption in the post-board games, it's very possible that we just literally could care less about ECD. Wilt is way better against Reclamation because they're more likely to just, like, tap out on turn 4 for it. And their deck is, like, kind of predicated on having the additional mana that Reclamation can give them. But if we can load up on discard, have, like, 6 discard spells, there's a better chance we can just, like, snap it out of their hand to begin with, or in the games where they don't draw it, the cards are still good because they can interact with all the, like, counter magic and other shit. So I think I like that. Let's try that. Try a pair of Thought Erasures to help fix our draw a little bit with the Surveil, and also be able to just nab anything. Playing cards like Duress right now, because I don't know, anybody that may be watching this either now or later at some point, playing cards like this right now is really difficult because so much of the card advantage in these decks is built into, like, the creatures, between, like, Uro and Hydroid Krasis and just, like, other stuff along those lines. Duress doesn't often tag what you want it to. We saw in that game with Thought Erasure, or Thought Distortion rather, that they still had a Bone Crusher Giant in their hand and 2 lands. Like, it was basically 6 mana, discard 1 card, and whatever else from their bin that was sort of irrelevant. And you could argue that Duress would have been better there, but That's just how that particular situation panned out. But more often than not, this card is going to be dead against a lot of shit. Like against Bant Control, you can't take, on the play, you can't take their opposing Joel Rail if your hand is not otherwise set up to fight that card. But you can with Thought Erasure and Agonizing Remorse. There's like all those very subtle little differences between how all these cards work that make or break them. So I think I'm going to try that. We'll try Thought Erasure over Wilt to solve our 4-5 plus enchantment woes alongside just being generally a little bit more impactful. I didn't realize we had another one of these. Alright, so we only have one more to go till we get the worm. Anyway, so that's what we're going to try here. The other thing I noticed is that our mana was ever so slightly disagreeable in that game. And I think I might want to make one adjustment. And that is to go down one Overgrown Tomb and up a Watery Grave. Because we did not have the double blue for Teferi on turn 4 in that game. We did in the previous situation, but I think this is fine. This still leaves us with, I think, 20 green sources. 4, 8, 10, 14, 15, 18. Wait, can I count? Yeah, that's 18, 20. Yeah, it still gives us 20 green sources, and I think that ups us to 20 blue sources. 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, 8. No, it's 18 blue. Okay. Wow, we were only on 17 blue sources before. What the hell? 4, 8, 10. Oh, 14. Whoops, 4, 8, 10, 14, 18, 20. Yeah, so 20. Okay. So I was right. 20, 20, and I think 19 black. 4, 8, 11, or 9, rather, Jesus Christ. 12, 16, 18, yeah. 18, 20, 20. And we really only need one black at any point other than when we're getting ready to cast Casualties or Thought Distortion out of the board. Having turn 1 green or turn 2 green blue or double green for this Elder, Gargaroth, and whatever else, that's more important, I think. Okay. Again, tweaking the knobs a little bit.
Oh, hey, it's Banana Dogs.
Never mind that. Okay. Yeah, this hand is not fantastic, but it'll work. I saw that I was checking Facebook real quick while we were waiting for our pairing, and I saw that Maddox had it on his story on Facebook. There, that's what we're looking for. That he's going live with Banana Docs. Sagoth Triome. What is going on here? Mirror? Maybe he'll tap out as well. No, he will not. Alright, well. I'm gonna go for it, whatever. I didn't come here to not cast a fairy. Fabled Passage. I think for the moment... I know we have Ugin in hand, but I don't have any idea what he's playing. We might want both of these removal spells. And I probably actually should have kept the Passage and ditched the Breeding Pool. Whoops. So I might want double black. Cultivate, alright. He might just be Simic, actually, now that I think about it. No, he's not. Okay. there's a Vraska. I don't necessarily think I want to activate Teferi right now, because like getting up to his ultimate is not that awesome. Decline. But maybe we can ditch like Heartless Act or something. Yeah, let's just wait. I'm not gonna activate it on my turn. I don't have enough gas to like just be willy-nilly cycling cards from my library through my hand and all that shit. If we draw a Treacherous Blessing, that'll give us plenty of action to be able to do something like that. Let's see, he might have Nightpack Ambusher. Which I guess I'll do this. I'm going to get rid of Eliminate. Can't think of a lot of Planeswalkers he'd have access to that we actually need to have Eliminate for. Like to decline. I hope I don't mistakenly click on my Teferi at one of these points. But this way I have it set up so Teferi has 2 phases available to him if we need it. Like we can phase something out, draw a card, phase something out. If it really comes down to that. The extra turn modes on this, we don't have enough to like really pressure him anything with. Like if we had a creature or something, we could like realistically get this Vraska. You know, oh my God. Two, three, four, five, six. We're gonna get rid of this. That's fine. Alright, so this turn we're going to Uro. And I'm just gonna set up to kill him next turn, actually. Actually, fuck, I thought we had one more mana in play already. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can't actually... He can't Ugin us next turn. And again, I don't want to play like... If we get extremely lucky here, we might be able to get Uro, but we did not. Don't want that. He's got a lot of cards in hand. Holy shit. How does he have this many cards? I guess he hasn't cast shit. Except to draw 2 and Casualties of War, so... Oh, he has another one? Alright, whatever, man. What do we have in the bin that I want to get rid of? Watery Graves, Zagoth Triumph... 4 lands and a removal spell. Okay, we can do that. We'll do Eliminate. You do kind of have to think about this stuff a little bit when you are a Tamiyo deck. Sure. About that. Just gonna get back Casualties of War. Oh, he's not. What's he gonna name? Ugin? Hydrate Graces. Which you did draw, that's brutal. Alright. Guess probably a swamp, right? Otherwise, we can't actually cast this, so we just have to do this now. And then we can Casualties him again, I guess. If it comes down to that. I just can't let him get Casualties of War, like, twice in a row. Otherwise, we're, like, never gonna get into this game. And I say get into this, but, you know, we're, like, already pretty deep into it. But I think the point is... valid. So I'm now going to Ugin before he has counter magic back up. Minus for 2. And hopefully he does not have his own... Well, if he has his own Ugin, then we just Casualties of War him again. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully he doesn't have, like, Murderous Rider or some stupid card that just nobody is playing right now. If he doesn't play anything of, like, real consequence, then we can just Treacherous Blessing Uro next turn. Something like that. This is kind of a pain in the ass, but Casualties of War will help tidy that up pretty well. We're actually going to get to double Stone Rain him here. Oh, baby. Like, in all likelihood, anyway. Is he gonna Uro in play? Yeah, he is. This is gonna be awesome. So he's gonna tap out all of his blue, which is great for us, and we're gonna Casualties of War, destroying Nissa, Uro, and Watery Grave. Or no. Let's go with Breeding Pool, and then we'll shoot Forest with Ugin. Oh, he still has a blue. Okay, that's alright. Okay, cool. This is gonna be awesome. Check this out. Casualties of War. Creature, land, planeswalker. Target a creature. Uro. Target a land. Watery... No, Breeding Pool is what we said, right? We want to cut him off a green. Target a planeswalker. Kill those. Kill your forest. That was excellent. We got to double Stone Raid him that turn. And he can only cast one, like, big green thing this turn. He's going to cast Uro again. That is perfectly acceptable for me. You got it, buddy. Nice. You got it. I think I want to save this Eliminate for now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, no, because, like, so I was thinking maybe we minus this Ugin and all this shit. But if he has his own Ugin, I don't want him to play Ugin, tag our Ugin, and then, like, that's just the end of it. So let's go ahead and do this now. Alright, so... shoot the face, play Treacherous Blessing. I don't care that we're going to take a point by playing our Uro this way. I just want to make sure that the Treacherous Blessing resolves is a little more important than Uro to me. Crack this for a land. Sure, with a blue source. Play Uro. We can even play Chevil here, I suppose, even though it's, like, kind of whatever. Eliminate or Heartless Acts. Yeah, just grab both, I guess. Now that'll, like, set us up if he plays like something that we can kill with Uro, or if he wants, or Ugin rather, or if he wants to trade off Uros or something like that. Okay, so he's got his own Ugin. So he's gonna That's alright. Burrow. Okay. So having the Ugin on higher loyalty is definitely the better situation. What do we do first? Do we Uro first? I think we Uro and then Teferi. I don't want to cast Uro because he's likely going to cast his own. I don't want to like be able to Ugin it at some point. Sure. I'm gonna pay 2 life here because I can cast Teferi. Thanks Auto Tapper for not leaving a green up. This costs more to cycle, so... Oh, I do have a green up, never mind. Never mind, Auto Tapper. I didn't see this Overgrown Tomb over here. Sure. Oh, does he have Casualties of War again? Oh, he has Nissa, okay. So, what is he gonna do? Try to kill Ugin, or, Teferi here? Guess that's fine. Yeah. He doesn't want to animate a forest here, get it blown up by Ugin. Yeah, go to combat first. There you go. Whatever. See you, Teferi. Alright, so I can play... I'm going to kill his Ugin, play Uro, and play... Actually, let's see, can I just Tameo to get back Casualties of War? I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. I can try to make that play. Let's see what happens. And also, this will, if I can do this, then this will allow me to, oh man, we can like snipe him off green if this works. Oh, please tell me this is gonna work. Casualties of War. Play Casualties of War. All modes, please. Target a land. Forest. Okay. Woo! Thank God for Casualties of War. Alright, taking a brief break. I will be right back. Oops, I have to click on the right thing to get back to Arena. Okay. So what do we want to do here? Again, I don't think we need Cheville. We don't need all this removal. Shark Typhoon's a little scary, but I think what we're going to try and do is our sideboard plan that we talked about. We just want all the hand disruption. Except I don't know that I want... Thought Distortion. I'm actually kind of having second thoughts about that particular card. He's got like Krasis and Uro and stuff like that that might not get tagged by it. And if we have 6 hand disruption spells to begin with that cost 2 mana, we might be able to just like kind of nickel and dime him out of the game sometimes. We don't need to go to something as hefty as... This hand's super slow. Whatever. We might not need to go to something as hefty as Thought Distortion. Lead here, whatever. Let's give us all of our colors if we really need it to. Zagoth Triome. I'm okay with playing that, I think. He's not going to Growth Spiral us this turn. So we're not going to be too far behind. Like if he plays Uro here, fair enough. Cultivate, not as bad. But he could play Nissa next turn, that's going to be a pain in the dick. If he did that, he probably would have gotten a Forest, though. Or if he was planning to do that, rather. Unless he's, like, absolutely trying to fix all of his mana. I might just have to cycle this Shark Typhoon, actually. Nissa. Uro's fine. I mean, it's not great. I would rather he didn't have it, but... Alright, so he's just on, like, the infinite mana plan. I think I am going to cycle this, because I would kind of like to find a discard spell. If possible. That ain't it. Alright, so here I want to play Teferi, or Tameo, I think. This will protect us from, like, this is the thing I least want to get killed, I think. This will give us the best shot at finding Uro and interaction. Let's see, he can't quite do Uro next turn, so we do have a chance if we hit Agonizing Remorse, so we might be able to get something off this Tameo. So let's just do that. I'm going to name Agonizing Remorse. Hopefully we can hit something. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. He might just Ugin us next turn, and that'll just be that, but whatever. There we go. Nice. Okay, so if we get 1 turn of reprieve here, he could have Casualties of War. Looks like Casualties of War. Or Hydroid Krasis. Okay. I think we are kind of just priced into killing that thing with Vraska. If we can if we manage to get through the turn and we can double Agonizing Remorse him next turn, like maybe snipe Uro and like something else. But I think we have to get this Krasis off the table while we have the opportunity. So at this point, let's see, did we hit any basics? We did not. Let's just go ahead and do this now while we can. I want to get a swamp. And I might just want to get value off this Tameo while I can. I wonder if that means Shark Typhoon. No, because he's gonna have. He might have Casualties of War. So let's just get a draw 3. That way, if he does Casualties us this turn and he tags Tameo, we at least got like a couple cards out of it. And I'm okay doing the double Remorse play next turn, even to throw away Tameo. If that's what it comes down to. He's definitely Casualties of Warring us this turn, though. Yep. Okay, it's alright. We got our value. I don't really even care about that, honestly. Alright, so let's do this. His Hydrid Krasis. We have Uro locked down if he goes to play that, because we have another Vraska in our hand. I don't want him drawing a gazillion cards off Krasis, and I don't care about Scavenging Ooze. We don't have Uro in our bin at the moment. We can likely find some way to get that Krasis off the table before it becomes a problem. So I'm going to take his Krasis. And then here... what do I want to do? If I play a land, Treacherous Blessing, that's going to make us have to discard. So I think I'd rather... well, fuck, he has Uro, though. Or, Scavenging Ooze. If I can get Uro down, like, into the bin and, yeah, that's totally fine. I'm glad to see that, actually. If I can get Uro down into the bin and out of play at the same time, or on the same turn, rather, then we can kind of sidestep Scavenging Ooze to begin with. So he's going to play Uro here, likely going to play Scavenging Ooze as well. It's whatever. It's actually kind of bad that he played Fabled Passage there. Because he like let us know what he'd draw for the turn. Let us find out, I guess, is a better way to put that. But, whatever. So he's got 1 unknown. He has 0 unknowns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources of green. I'm trying to figure out if I need to kill this Ooze or the Uro. The Uro can draw him back into this game. The Ooze we can probably contend with for a little bit. There's not that many creatures in the bins. In fact, there's only 1. So we could probably outscale that with our own Hydrid Krasis pretty easily. And I don't want to give him Uro if I can absolutely help it at all. He cannot recast his own Uro, especially if he wants to grow the Ooze. do this for now. I think we've got so much going on in our hand that all we need to do is like buy time to deploy it all. He's gonna kill Vraska, whatever. Like, I don't care about that. Sure. He didn't use his Zagoth Triome. You got it. Right now, this is a 2-2. That's all it is. You can make it a 3-3 if he really wants to. Or a 4-4, I guess. Let's see. So he can remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can remove 5 cards from my bin right now, which is not good enough to prevent Uro. And I can play, I believe I can play Uro this turn, right? Blue, green, no I can't because these fucking swamps. So, that being the case, I think I want to get this Teferi in play. So we can Teferi draw, and then at the end of his turn, like, phase this out, and like force him to make his moves then, and then we can play this Uro a little bit more easily. So let's start there. See what he has to say about this. We've got a lot of lands that we want to filter into actual business as well. So say this is pretty likely to resolve, so go away. Overgrown 2. Play Temple. Do not want. Alright, well, he's actually probably going to be able to clear our bin out over the course of 2 turns. Which is whatever, you know. That just means this Hydroid Krasis is going to have to do a lot of work. Hey dog, shut up. Every card that gets exiled from our bin is going to make that sound effect. That's fucking annoying. What do you got for me? I think I just want to do this now. If I don't do it now, I can't do it at all. And if he wants to make his move, we've got 6 cards in the bin. If he wants to make his move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He could get 4 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I don't think I care. I think this Uro plan is probably off the table for the time being until I can find a way to get this Scavenging Ooze off the table. I was gonna say, if he wants to, like, exile his own stuff to make it bigger, then sure. So he's got 6, so he can totally empty our bin if he really wants to. But I don't think I care about that. I think this Krasis is basically going to be our plan. Casualties of War? Come on, man. What is he targeting with this Casualties of War? Breeding pool? Like, I kind of have to keep the breeding pool around that I do have, because I might need the green. How many Casualties of Wars is that? It's 2. Just 2 of them. Alright, well, it's time to go back-to-back Hydroid Krasis. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I can do it for 5. Alright, might as well. X equals 5. Yeah, go crazy, man. Uro is going to be a glorified 2/2 generator with Joel Rail. I think what I'm going to do first, though, is I'm going to play this Krasis for 6 next turn and try to put him on... he's going to go to 21, then we'll have 11 power. So that'll put him on a 2-turn clock. Nice. We might be able to get that Uro out of here. We're gonna ditch this Fabled Passage, I guess. Actually, no, we're gonna ditch Watery. Well, no, this whole plan, the dodging Scavenging Ooze, is like way off the table. We'll just ditch Fabled Passage. That's fine. If he doesn't draw something soon, I mean, he's literally got like 2 draws left, maybe 3 if you want to count the Uro attacks and stuff. What is he trying to do here? He can make it a 4/4, right? That's... what does he possibly have here? Does he have, like, Extinction Event or something? Oh, he's probably got, like, Ugin. I think he ripped Ugin. Yeah. So he's just trying to score, like, 2 points, which is understandable, I suppose. Well, he had to rip something, so... damn, he has so much fucking mana. This is game 2, though. So, we do have a chance to come back. And of course, now we're starting to draw these fucking Agonizing Remorses, of course. Alright, well, let's see. What can we do here? We can Joel Rail, Growth Spiral, make a 2/2. 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. So we can't get Uro into play this turn, I don't think. Yeah, there's no way. We don't have enough cards in the bin to do that. But we need to start setting up for that. Let's play Uro. Guess we'll play that. We kind of need to catch up on mana a little bit. Yeah, get out of here, Nissa. I'm gonna pay 2 life here, I think. So he's just gonna eat our Joel Rail, which is whatever. He might -2 to get our entire board, I suppose. Sure. So his deck seems like not great against Joel Rail, except that he has Noxious Grasp in some level. I'm just gonna let that hit me, I think. Well, not with Ugin on the table. I think I have to preserve my life total a little bit. Watch, he probably drew like Crassus or something here. Okay. Here. Nope. Alright. Of course, all the hand disruption now. Like, literally, we had not drawn a single hand disruption spell. Oh, okay, we drew 1 at some point. Alright, so now we can... I think we have to like Teferi, draw, discard, get Uro into play, right? Alright, well, not totally out of it. I guess we have enough Uros. Maybe we want to keep, like... Or no, we have our Tamios down anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so this might force him to have to -3. We'll see. Or 4. If he minuses 4, then we're like, great. That's excellent. He's attacking me. Okay. No blocks. I'm not phasing it out. I'm not letting him keep his Uro if he wants to Ugin me. Sick. Let's get rid of this Thought Erasure. Like, if he has an Uro in hand or something, I would rather possibly be able to Ugin him. God damn. He had Ugin, or Uro and Nissa? Jesus fucking fuck. Oh my fucking god. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's just move on. This game's over. He drew 3 bangers off the top right there. That's absolutely absurd. Alright. What do we want here? I feel like this is just too slow. He didn't have any... Did he have any mystical disputes that game? He did not. He's like base green-black. Or it like kind of feels that way. I didn't see any disputes. Maybe we just have to draw better, like draw more of this stuff. I'm just kind of debating whether or not I want this Assassin's Trophy or not. This might be a situation, since we're on the play, that we want to like try to maximize Joel Rail. Alright, Nick. Thanks for sticking around for a little while, man. Have a good rest of your night. And we want to like max out Treacherous Blessing. I think I'm going to max out Treacherous Blessing and like ditch a Shark Typhoon. This card is like hella slow. Doesn't generate much card advantage. And just kind of gets like swept up a lot of the time. Like if we play this hard onto the board, then it just gets eaten by Casualties of War. God, I kind of feel like I need answers to some creatures too, though. Fuck, this is a hard matchup, man. Alright, we're gonna try it this way. I think we just have to draw a little bit better. I think our configuration is good. We just like drew too much of the, again, the middle of the road and not enough on the lower end to help bridge us into that mid game. Like this is absolutely perfect. This is totally what we're looking for. Triome, into Joel Rail, into Treacherous Blessing, into Agonizing Remorse, Thought Erasure. Like, that's going to be a fucking awesome turn. If he has no way to disrupt this Joel Rail, then there's a pretty good chance we can just run away with this. I don't mind. I kind of want to get our clock up before we do anything. It's possible he kept this hand on the strength of like Growth Spiral into Cultivate, in which case going double hand disruption spell might be better. But I'm willing to gamble that we'll be able to do double spell next turn if we want to. We draw another untapped black source here, which we did. So we got our clock up. We're going to be able to double hand disruption next turn. We can really craft our game plan around that. So again, as long as he doesn't get this Joel Rail out of here, then I think we might be in good shape. He does not have a 4-mana turn, or 4-mana play, rather. He does not have a removal spell. He has Cultivate. Okay, this is working out pretty much ideal. So let's get in there. I'm going to lead with Agonizing Remorse, because I would much rather get like an Uro out of here right now than anything else. And if he has like Stone Cold Nothing, which he basically does, I'm going to take Distortion and Nissa here, right? We have an Overgrown Tomb, so we can do this. Thought Distortion. Pay 2 life, Thought Erasure. Get that out of here. In a forest. Alright, cool. Next turn, I think I have to play Krasis for 3, even though it draws less cards. Then, well, maybe we can cycle Shark Typhoon, I suppose. Let's see, so he can play Casualties of War next turn. And I don't necessarily want to give him a Teferi if that's the case. So I think just cycling Shark Typhoon here on my turn to get the 2/2 plus a 3/3 token. We're just gonna like nickel and dime him with a bunch of little knuckleheads. I'm gonna put 5 power into play this turn. Draw a card. And he hasn't shown us like any mass creature removal spells. It's all been like Casualties of War type stuff. Except for Ugin, I suppose. This is fine. Don't care about that. So what I'm going to do here is phase out. I'm going to phase out his Swamp, kill Nissa, hit him for 2, and then we'll have Growth Spiral to make another 2/2. I think we're going to do it this way. Let's get a black source, blue, doesn't matter. I don't think this guy has counterspells, so I'm not too worried about that. And I think I don't mind trading to Fairy for this, I don't think. We could also could just go wide, honestly, around this Nissa, but no, he's going to be able to go wide as well. And we have Krasis to rebuild. I'm okay doing this play, I think. We'll phase it out. And I'm going to play around a removal spell here. I'm just going to send absolutely everything at Nissa. I don't really care. I just do not want that card living. Play this, draw a card. Temple of Maladies, perfect. Do not need another Joel Rail. Well, don't need another Triome, I suppose. Now if we play something else big next turn, we're going to Casualties of War. If not, we're going to Krasis. Crisis qualifies as big enough, rather. So let us casualties. We're gonna toss our treacherous blessing as well. Target a creature, an enchantment, yes, and a land. Alright, he's got one turn. Shoving Remorse, because if he has it this turn, then we're just going to Crisis. If he doesn't have it, then we win. No Ugin, please. Okay. He's still live for Ugin. Okay. Burrow is not the end of the world. He has to play it to live, unless he has something else that I'm not aware of, like a Ritual of Soot, I guess. Okay. Quality Exile. Okay. Wow, we just drew another Crisis. He's at 11. I'm going to get in for 3 and play a Crisis here. If he wants to attack, I will trade all of my tokens for his Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess we can just tap out for a huge Crisis. This will actually be able to survive against Uro. And we're threatening to kill him again. So he's kind of got to have Ugin, which he does. Okay. You minus for 2. So now we're going to have to play our own Uro. It's a Narset. That F. Give me a fucking break. And we draw a Treacherous Blessing that turn. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, well, it's a glorified gain 6. 6/6. 6/6 that gains 6 life when it comes into play. 2, 3. Yeah, we got plenty of mana. Sweet, so if he plays Thought Distortion here, then we're good. He just gets Treacherous Blessing, which doesn't do anything anyway. And he's not going to do that, of course. Wait, he drew another Casualties of War? Are you shitting me? Oh my god. Two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. I just need to gain life. And not that it matters, she's just gonna minus and kill us. Alright, whatever. Whatever, man. Runner, 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 runner. I guess if you hit that, then you can win. That's why counter spells are good. You stop the top of the deck. That's what black disruption has always been weak against, is just ripping off the top. I talked about that last week when I was playing Yorion, this Yorion Orzhov deck. Is it just like, when you get into those top deck wars, sometimes you just want to rip an Ugin off the top. Alright, well, let's reevaluate here. So I think this was probably unnecessary if we're going like wild with hand disruption anyway. Maybe I don't want all of that. Maybe I want, like, again, just like a pair of disdainful strokes or something like that. We've come full circle. So we'll have 5 hand disruption spells. I mean, we have to draw these on time. And yeah, you gotta draw this on time as well, but it really prevents you from having garbage like what happened that game happen. I mean, we drew a lot of cards that game. It's very likely that we were going to draw one of these at some point. And yeah, Nissa, man, Nissa's a pain in the fucking dick. Alright, well, we just have to figure out how to beat, or not Nissa, well, she's a pain in the ass too, but Narset. Narset's a pain in the ass. This is like the mirror technology, sort of. These Gargaroths aren't doing shit right now, but I know the second I take these out, we're gonna face down like an aggressive deck, and I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. Alright, well, let's get one more in. We got time for one more. Unless it's another fucking slog fest like that. God damn, that went forever. Play first, not with that hand. This hand is acceptable, if not exciting. We're going to toss this back just because we're not playing that for any meaningful amount anytime soon. Plus, we can always shuffle it back up here with this Fabled Passage. Man, this was somewhat of an innocuous land when it got spoiled. Adventures, huh? Man, it's been a grip since I've seen this deck. Although it's weird to see an overgrown tomb. I have seen... Okay, it might be just like Golgari Adventures. It's like a throwback to 10 months ago. It does appear to be what it is. I will take 1 point of damage. Damn, my life for an extinction event right now. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Alright, 1-2, blocks your entire team. I don't want to block Foulmire Knight, necessarily, but I could if I had to. So you're just gonna play Lovestruck Beast here. No blocks. Yep. I hate the sound effect on that stupid thing. Alright, well. We gotta draw land if we want to play the game. We draw land, we kill Lovestruck Beast with Vraska, move on with our day. No blocks. Murder's Rider? Yep. There we go. Get out of here, please. No attacks. I'm not too worried about whatever he decides to do about this Vrasco. If he just sends a Foulmire Knight, I'll probably block it. And then play, like a Teferi. If he just wants to block a token, I'm okay eating a token. He can have Vrasco. I always had Tamio, can grab it back at some point. God, why don't I have Cry of the Carnarium in my board? Just absolutely dumpsterize this entire board. Do we just play... No, I want to get like 2 cards out of this Crassus, I think. Let's see, so we could play Teferi, but we don't really have a surplus of cards. I could just play Crassus for 3. And draw a card, but that's like kind of unexciting. It at least holds off most of his team. Okay, whatever. Gains us a point, draws us a card, gets a body in play. Like now we can check the token, and our token can check basically any of his other creatures. This is actually sweet because we're going to be able to sideboard into our anti-aggro game plan, which is not something we've been able to do all night. Because everyone's been on fucking Growth Spiral decks. Yum. Okay, so now we can play Teferi. And we can make that guy go away. So he is not a factor in combat. We're going to need mana, so I can't not play that. We can get rid of this Growth Spiral, I believe. Yeah. Now we have Teferi plus Jolrael. That should be pretty good. Get rid of a card, please. Paradise Druid makes sense. Card is a virtual blank right now. Let's see where his attacks are going before we make any decisions here. Sending it all. He wants to basically keep us off of Teferi. We have a backup Teferi that we can actually play next turn alongside Jolrael, so I think what we're going to do is just minus this guy. We'll block token on Foulmire Knight. We'll let him have Teferi with the other one. And then we're going to Jolrael plus Teferi next turn. Let's do it this way first. Let's play Teferi first. That way he can't like respond with a removal spell on Jolrael. Unless we draw something absolutely bomb, we're gonna bin whatever we draw here. Yep, go away. No attacks. That's a nice little trick to keep the Rotting Regisaur around and also make him have to bin some shit. Village Rites. Yeah, you got a great hinge, bro. What do you wish to do this turn? rinse and repeat from last turn. Let's see if I can play this turn. Does he have like another Rotting Regisaur? Ah, he's got his own Cheville. Okay, that's spicy. Okay, so what do we do this turn? I think we have to Tameo back this Vraska, and then draw some Krads with Treacherous Blessing. Like, he's getting pretty close to just being able to all-in us, like Alpha Strike style. We don't have any Wraths in our deck, so... Oh man, this Uro is going to be pretty good, though. No attacks. If he attacks all in, what happens? We have to block Rotting Regisaur, Cheville, and a 2-power thing, and we live at 1. Yeah, he figured it out too. And living at 1 doesn't mean anything, because Treacherous Blessing. Actually, that's not true. We can... Well, no, we can't, because we don't have Vraska in play. Okay, let's see. So, Joel Rail has to jump in front of that. This jumps in front of Murderous Rider. And this jumps in front of that. We take 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we're just dead. There are no blocks that'll save us. Okay, well, at least now we can get our anti-aggro stuff in here. So, I don't mind Ugin, but Casualties War has to go. I think Jolrael and Teferi need to go. Need to bring in Heartless Act, the Eliminate. Noxious Grasp isn't great, but it does keep him off of Jolrael and Edgewall Innkeeper, and those are 2 of his better cards. Tameo can get out of here, and I think 1 Treacherous Blessing, so we can bring in the Gargaroths and a Cheville. And I think this is good. Oh, actually, Shark Typhoon can get out of here for another Jolrael. We just want to be like super low to the ground. This card is usually pretty bad against aggressive decks. So this gives us 7 removal spells. We'll have to play a little smart to keep our Noxious Grasps live against his green creatures. But we also have the Vraskas on top of that. Gargaroth is going to like single-handedly carry this game as long as we can keep his stupid Death Touch creatures off the table. Ugin will be a nice like catch-all if things get out of control that we can draw into. Uro just classically good against creature-based aggro decks, as if there are other aggro decks out there. And we still have Crassus as well, and the additional Cheville should really help. So yeah, and this we kind of have to keep these even though they deal a little bit of damage to us because we're going to be like 1-for-1ing quite a bit more in this game. We need to be able to reload. Teferi's not good at reloading. Teferi's good at filtering resources that you already have. So he's better in matchups against mid-range or control decks. And we don't need this Teferi Jolrael interaction as badly in this game. So, we shall see how this goes. Hopefully better. Yeah, it's okay. Slow, but it's, it's okay. We have a 2, 3, and a 4 if we, like, absolutely need to take 6 damage to make every play along the curve. He has, okay, he does not have Edgewall Innkeeper, so I'm not gonna spend a turn killing that, but if he does have something else, I want to kill it and have Uro up. And he's, like, very likely to have something else, most likely. That's a great target to be able to Heartless Axe. Get that out of here. Destroy creature with no counters. Goodbye, Jolrael. Now we can do this. Get Uro going. We'll net gain a life this turn. Put Overgrown Tomb into play. Why did I pay 2 life? Misclicked there. Like in a hurry. So, if it comes down to 2 points, it comes down to 2 points. Scavenging Ooze, okay. That's annoying, but whatever. We have another Uro, not a big deal. We'll just play Vraska, eat this stupid thing, move on with our day, let him kill our Vraska with his token, big deal. Do not pay the 2 life. That's like such insane value to get on your 1/1 token. As stupid as it is, I think I have to Vraska to kill this Lovestruck Beast now just to protect our life total. Knowing that, I'm going to do that, and then he's going to play Rotting Regisaur, but, whatever. We got to play with the cards that we have, not the cards that he might have. Oh, you didn't want to give it to the token again? He's like checking to see if we can get our Uro on. Lovestruck Beast, okay. Like we have to shove it, even though we're gonna like go wild with Uro here. We can't afford to draw any lands at this point. Even, Alright, well, whatever. We're probably losing this game. We're like way too far behind at this point. Oops. He was able to get like so much fucking value off of his human tokens because we did not draw more than one of our 2 mana removal spells. And had to waste a... Of course he has Scavenging Ooze here. We can make a 4/4 token plus a 2/2. Does he have any other creatures? I guess he does. He can make his, his Scavenging Ooze is going to eat us alive here. Literally in a couple of different ways. Whatever, get me out of this game. Okay, well, I have not seen that deck in literally 8 months, so I am not going to judge the quality of our game plan against a deck that I haven't seen in over 200 days. I think against the expected aggressive decks, like mono red, mono green, and like green red, uh, I think our choices are like phenomenally good. But against a deck like Adventures that has Edgewall Innkeeper that draws like 1,000 cards every time it's in play, and cards like Lovestruck Beasts that are 2-for-1s in our deck that we do not have Extinction Event in, or Ritual of Soot even. Um, like, we just can't hope to keep up with that unless we draw Ugin, which obviously we didn't. Um, but it's whatever. I think against the decks that we kind of expected to play against, we did okay. I don't remember what our record is. Like 3-3 maybe. Did we get 6 matches in today? Whatever. I'll have to go back and watch the VOD. Anyway, we had a lot of good stuff to draw there, and we just did not. So, oh well. That them's the breaks sometimes. Thoughts playing this? I do like Teferi. I like Teferi better than I like Llanowar Visionary. That card was fucking god awful. But I feel like the games where you don't draw it in conjunction with Treacherous Blessing or Hydroid Crisis, that it's really hard to get his +1 to the point where you're like actually filtering like garbage. Because a lot of the time we're like holding a bunch of stuff that we actually want, like Vraskas and Hydroid Crisis and Casualties of War, and even like lands to work our way up to it. So this felt a little awkward. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe only one Teferi. Scavenging Ooze was a problem. That really kept our Uro game plan down. Just trying to think of if there's anything we can play to kind of accomplish both of our goals of having like a card advantage thing that also helps us like maintain the board. I guess there's like the Cursed Huntsman, but another 6 mana card in a deck that already has 3 cards that cost that at minimum, if we're not talking Shark Typhoon as well. And it doesn't ramp the absolute hardest. We only have 7 cards that actually do that. I don't know, maybe. This probably would have been pretty good last round if we'd had this like game one, and been able to like stabilize the board a little bit better, get a Garrett down, and start making 2/2/2s every turn. That we can eventually like use the -3 to pop the bigger threats and go from there. I don't like that this gets hit by Casualties of War and Elspeth Conquers Death. But maybe one of these is better than the third Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon was okay. We had one game where we got to like go heavy on it. That was pretty fun. What does the Unleashed do again? Yeah, I don't like it. A lot of our creatures are not very good. Just coming straight into play. This dies immediately, does nothing. This does nothing. This does nothing. This draws a card and gains us 3 life, but that's as good as it gets, and we don't have anything else to grab. Alright, not very good. Hexproof from Black. That's interesting. Haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, maybe one of these is the call. Like maybe one of these over one of the Teferis or something. There's also, let's see, just kind of brainstorming a little bit here. There's also 6 mana Liliana, which is usually not that good. Like this card's actually been a pretty big flop, if I'm being totally honest here. I still like it, and I've still played with it enough to like rack up some wins with it, but I think just for what people thought this card was going to be, it did not end up panning out. But I think it's possible that either this or Garrick might be like the call. This does not interact very favorably against Ugin. Neither does Garrick Cursed Huntsman. But there's not really a lot of cards that do, right? Outside of like counter spells. I guess we could have like Questing Beast or something, but that seems like really out of place for what this deck is trying to do. Like this is like a mono green or Gruul beatdown deck. Like we don't put on a clock fast enough most of the time to take advantage of the haste. It's like haste is really good when like 12 to 16 to 20 threats in your deck have haste, and you're just like, in every single turn, taking advantage of that keyword. But just having a random creature with haste is, I mean, it can be good, but it gets better the more you compound it with the other creatures in your deck. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling right now. So I will figure out what to do with this on my own time, if anything at all. Overall, I think it was a pretty fun deck. Really would have liked to have seen this card. I haven't even had this in play yet. But against the appropriate decks, this just seems like a house. All three of those modes are really good. Plus, it has fucking 3 keyword abilities. This is the quintessential anti-aggro card out of a green mid-range deck. But otherwise, everything else felt pretty good. Joel Rail had its moments. It's not always awesome, but against the decks that aren't pressuring you very much, you can establish a pretty good clock. And against the decks that are pressuring you, you can generally use this to stabilize until you reach the mid game and start dropping stuff like, Uros and Hydroid Krasis and things of that nature. Anyway, so I will be getting this uploaded onto YouTube, so we can watch that there. If you're not following me on here, I would greatly appreciate the support. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you feel so inclined. That's youtube.com/canman87. And my Twitter that you can follow me on for announcements for when I'm going live and for what I'm going to be playing is at canman87gaming. Thanks for anybody that dropped by and checked me out. Didn't see too many people on, but not a big deal. Had fun either way. Hopefully you did as well. Hopefully the commentary was at least somewhat informative, if not rambling for a little bit. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your night. I think I'm getting one stream in tomorrow. I don't know if I'm getting both. I have some plans later in the evening. But we'll try and get like the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock stream in. And I'll let you guys know what I decide to do for that. That's kind of up in the air. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your night. Hope to see you tomorrow. If not, I'll just see you next time.